A group of hunters heads deep into the forests of Montana, expecting nothing more than a weekend of sport and stories by the fire. But their plans are shattered when they stumble across a corpse mutilated in ways no animal could inflict, marked with strange carvings that seem to glow under the moonlight. Panic spreads as they argue whether to flee or investigate, but the forest itself begins to change. Sounds echo that don't belong, and movement flickers just beyond their torches. The group realizes too late that the symbols were not left behind, they were warnings. Each man senses something unseen circling them, studying them, preparing for the kill. Their rifles feel useless, their courage slips away, and dread replaces reason. As the night drags on, the hunters understand a terrifying truth. Whatever killed that man is still here, and now it has chosen its next prey. The survivors flee through the night and reach a nearby town, hoping for safety, but what greets them is worse than the wilderness. Storefronts sit open with goods still on the counters, houses left unlocked, meals half-eaten at abandoned tables. It feels as though the townspeople vanished in the middle of their lives. Confusion grows until the sun begins to set, and with it comes a change in the air, cold, heavy, suffocating. Whispers ride the wind, doors slam though no one stands near them, and the streets fill with shadows that shift unnaturally. Screams rise in the distance, echoing through alleyways, drawing closer with every minute. The hunters huddle inside a deserted diner, barricading the doors, but realize that something outside is trying to lure them back out. Every window shows movement. Every mirror distorts their faces, and every second in the cursed town feels like being hunted all over again. The horrors spread further than the woods and small towns. Chicago erupts with fear when bodies begin appearing in subway tunnels, alleys, and abandoned warehouses. Each corpse bears the same ritualistic carvings the hunters saw in Montana, their blood drained, their eyes wide open in frozen terror. The FBI is drawn into the case, deploying its top agent, who quickly discovers this is no ordinary investigation. Surveillance footage captures only blurs, twisted shapes that resemble humans but move too fast, too unnaturally. Witnesses describe a predator that can vanish into thin air, a killer who strikes without leaving footprints or fingerprints. The agent follows the bloody trail through the city, only to realize he is being stalked himself. Murders occur just blocks from his safe house, and evidence seems to anticipate his next move. In a city of millions, he begins to feel more alone than ever, because the monster isn't hiding, it's hunting him. The case turns personal when the agent uncovers disturbing files connecting the killings to his own family. Generations ago, his ancestors were part of a secret pact with a cult that worshipped the same ancient evil now terrorizing the nation. The curse marked their bloodline, binding them to violence, secrecy, and betrayal. He notices scars on his own body he cannot explain, patterns that match the ritual carvings found on the victims. Each discovery pushes him deeper into paranoia. Are his allies truly on his side, or part of the cult watching him from within the bureau? The more he investigates, the more his relationships crumble. Colleagues vanish, evidence disappears, and even family members he once trusted begin to act strangely. He realizes that to defeat the evil, he must sever ties with his own blood. But how do you fight an enemy that already lives inside you, waiting for its moment to rise? Texas becomes the next battlefield when the cult unleashes an orchestrated attack on a quiet border town. Masked figures storm the streets, dragging innocents from their homes, setting fires, and leaving behind a trail of blood. Chaos consumes every corner as terrified civilians hide wherever they can, while gunfire echoes like thunder. The agent arrives with a small team, forced into a desperate mission to rescue hostages and push back against overwhelming numbers. But the cultists seem fearless, their eyes glassy, their voices chanting in unison as if controlled by something greater. The siege feels less like a random attack and more like a ritual sacrifice carried out on a massive scale. As the smoke thickens and the bodies pile up, the agent recognizes that this violence was designed to summon something darker. The town becomes a living altar, and every death brings the ancient evil one step closer to return. The search for answers drags the agent into the underworld of New Orleans, where the cult's influence thrives in shadowy corners of the French Quarter. Behind jazz bars and masquerade masks, he uncovers hidden sanctuaries filled with candles, bones, and symbols that match those carved into every victim. Locals whisper about old curses, about spirits bound to bloodlines, but none dare speak openly. Guided by half-truths, the agent explores forgotten cemeteries and flooded crypts, where the cult gathers for ceremonies steeped in blood and fire. In those depths, he learns the chilling truth. The killer is not fully human, but a vessel for an ancient entity that feeds on fear and despair. Worse, his own scars glow under the ritual flames, confirming he is bound to this same darkness. New Orleans becomes a mirror of his soul, a place where the dead never rest, and the living walk on borrowed time. By the time the investigation reaches Washington, D.C., the agent knows the cult's reach extends far beyond isolated murders and small towns. Documents reveal that senators, generals, and even federal officers have been compromised, tied to the same blood rituals that have plagued his family for generations. Meetings in hidden chambers decide the fate of the country, guided not by politics, but by shadows. Every attempt to expose them is blocked, evidence erased, witnesses silenced before they can speak. When he finally confronts one high-ranking official, the man laughs, claiming the cult has been steering the nation for decades. Betrayal cuts deeper as colleagues turn against him, framing him as a rogue agent. The hunter becomes the hunted, forced to navigate a capital city where every handshake may be a trap and every oath is written in blood. The real enemy is not just the cult, it's the system itself. The final battle brings the agent to the hidden catacombs beneath New York City, where tunnels stretch endlessly and the stench of decay fills the air. Here, the cult prepares its ultimate ritual, one designed to bind the demon permanently to flesh. Hundreds of followers gather, chanting, their torches painting the walls with firelight. The agent descends into the depths, fighting through ambushes and betrayal, haunted by the assassin who has shadowed him since the beginning. As he pushes forward, he learns the final truth. His own blood is the key to completing the ritual. To stop the demon, he must spill his own life, sacrificing himself to sever the bond once and for all. With explosions rocking the tunnels and screams echoing in the dark, the choice comes swiftly: die a hunter or live as the vessel of evil. The ritual ends, but the hunt never truly dies.